I am in love with 3 women right now. And I have no idea how I'm gonna do this.
All 3 of us will be like living together.
Awkward. So awkward.
It is kind of a black and white situation. These are the expectations I have for myself. These are the expectations that I have for our relationship. I wouldn't be able to move forward if you have slept with the other women.
Woo! Dropping the mic. Here to break down Monday night's episode of The Bachelor is People Now producer Emma Zlotowicz. Hello, Emma.
Hello.
And Bachelor alum Kayla Quinn. Hello, Kayla.
Hey.
Good to see you both. All right, so fantasy week. Peter seems to have physical chemistry with all the women going in. Aside from the fantasy part, Kayla, what do you think were your predictions and how this was all going to go as we went into this week?
I thought he would get more clarity, but I feel like he's even more confused than ever.
Me too.
Don't you? There's no front runner. It just feels like he's kind of falling in love with everybody.
And as I was watching, I was kind of like, man, I felt like he wasn't really into it, like with that. I don't know. What were you thinking?
I think this week is a total make or break because it really like solidifies who's going to be the final 2, who's going to meet his parents, and he doesn't seem to be like fully into any of them.
You know what I keep saying?
He's not given 100%.
As I was watching, I was like, Hannah B is just chirping in the back of his mind.
No,
I think so. I really do.
No, she's done.
Do you think she's done? Okay, but
I can't handle that. I cannot handle
how do we think the
that.
women are feeling right now?
I mean, this for them is also make or break because they all want to be with him, and he's not 100% on either of them, and I think they all kind of feel that, and so now they have to figure out where his head is at.
Let's talk about this. They head to Australia. It's amazing that they're going there. It's the biggest trip of the show this season, for sure. Hannah Ann scores the first overnight date. That, of course, comes with a lot of anticipation. Hannah's been seen as the front runner since the beginning in many ways. The first impression rose, a couple of group date, I mean, all that stuff. Hannah Ann and Peter spent the night together. Emma, how's this date going to impact the rest of their relationship? What do you think?
So a week or 2 prior, he wasn't really sure how he felt about her because he thought maybe she was too young and too immature for marriage. And so this date really is going to be the make or break and the decision maker for him for like, is it worth getting married to her? Is it going to last?
Yeah. What did you think about this with Hannah?
I think it's a level playing field. I didn't see him like make any progress that he didn't make with the other women.
Yeah.
And, he does spend time thinking about her when he's not filming with her, like clearly with the lists that he's made, like 25 reasons why I love you, you name your clothes. And so maybe he is falling in love with her, but
They just seem fine to me.
yeah,
it's
just
like, okay, they're fine.
Lukewarm, I agree.
Yeah,
Kind of seems like a lose-lose.
Yeah, next date is with Victoria. The last time Peter and Victoria were together, it went horribly, obviously. He didn't even meet the family. It was this whole drama in the front yard and all of that. He leaves. This date is obviously critical for them as they move forward. They do spend the night together. But what does this mean for Victoria and Peter? What do you think they were hoping to get out of this date?
I think they were hoping to get better communication, and I think they probably did communicate throughout the night. They probably didn't sleep.
Well, yeah, I mean, the physical chemistry was clearly there with them.
Right. I don't know if they really improved their communication, but I think they just had more quality time.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any improvement in the communication because in the middle of her conversation with her explaining like, this is why I always react the way I do, he goes, I'm not judging you, and she has a breakdown. And he's like, wait, in the middle of this conversation, you had a breakdown, so.
But I think he's accepting her, who she is.
I do too. Like, it does feel like they're at least willing to acknowledge the reality of it, and then they still have to build from there.
He needs to calm down.
But the weird thing is she feels a connection because he's not running away. She's like, he understands, he gets me. And I'm like, it's not that he doesn't get you, it's just like, this is who you are.
Yeah. Okay, so Victoria and Peter spend the night together, and then we get to Madison. She's been struggling a while with the Fantasy Suite weeks, and she is saving herself for marriage. After last Monday's rose ceremony, she essentially gave Peter an ultimatum. The topic came up again on their date. Take a look.
If next week you were to like sleep with somebody else, like it would be really hard for me to like really like move forward in this. And I just feel like I owe it to you to like be upfront with you and honest with you about that. That is really important to me.
So what are you like saying? Like if I were to just like spend the night with someone else, this is not something that you could do.
All right, so if you're following along online, Bachelor Nation called out kind of a double standard here because during Hannah B's season, Luke P gave a similar ultimatum. He got destroyed for it. In this case, Madison kind of giving a similar thing. She's getting praised for it. Emma, what do you think of that?
So I think the problem with Madison and Luke P is they're mixing reality TV with reality. So obviously in the real world, if your spouse or partner is hooking up with other women, you're gonna shut that down and kick his ass to the curb. But this is a reality show, and you know what you signed up for. You know Peter is the guy who had sex in the windmill 4 times. So I think this is an ultimatum, and I don't think it's fair.
Well, it doesn't fit the show, does it?
It doesn't.
I mean, I really respected her for sticking with it, and I felt like she navigated that really well. I think she came off.
She wasn't mean like
No,
Luke
she
P.
wasn't.
Luke P was awful.
She navigated it well. She stuck to her guns. But again, you weren't signing up for like Christian Mingle. You were signing up for The Bachelor, and it was Windmill McGee coming in. So I don't know what you anticipate. Kayla, did you think it was like just a mismatch with her in general?
I think, Peter's, morals are maybe he's not the guy for her because she's looking for a guy who wouldn't do that. And so this is a good filter, and you can't fall in love with everybody and marry every good guy out there. So this was a good deterrent, and I'm proud of her for sticking to her guns.
I'm proud of her too. We move forward though. Madison kind of seems to leave. He's sort of begging her to stay. Should she stay? Should she go?
I think she should go.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think she's already done the hard part, which is navigate through, here's my standard. He clearly isn't living in accordance to that standard.
Yeah.
Like, move on, right? I mean,
Totally.
Andrea said, I think last week, that she feels like Madison's too good for him.
I think he should just let her go, though.
Yeah.
I think he should just let her go. Like, if she's willing to walk away, and I think if she was the last person standing, he wouldn't pressure her to do anything until they were married. And I think he seems like a respectful guy, and she seems like her faith is too important. So just split.
But if he had any inkling that she was the one, he shouldn't have slept with other women. I know it was an ultimatum, but at the same time, it's not that hard to not sleep with women for one more night.
But it's also his journey, and he has to figure out which one.
But I did actually have a moment last night watching where I thought he was going to reveal to her, hey, you said that to me before, and I didn't do it. I really thought that might happen.
Right.
And maybe that's what she was hoping for, but that's not The Bachelor, the show that we know at this point. It kind of used to be. I would say that it used to be back in the day. I'm old enough to remember they wouldn't even talk about the fantasy suites other than like vague allusions to what happened. Now it's like kind of all out there.
She should have been on Colton's season because no sex was happening there.
Yeah.
Also, it was tragic that they put all the women in the same house. I thought that was torture. They've never done that before with the final 3 because you see women coming back from their fantasy suite date, and of course they're going to be happy. They just, had everything their expectations fulfilled.
It was so awkward.
They had a fantasy.
It was but it was so awkward between them that it almost ruined the episode for me. Like I couldn't handle the onslaught.
It was
just like
very awkward.
Awkward silence.
And they all asked like, "How was your night?"
Like, "Oh, you look cute." And how was
you
the night?
are glowing.
Before we move on, all right, next week, The Bachelor Women Tell All episode. Kayla, who are you looking forward to hearing from the most as we go into that?
I don't even know.
I love spilling the tea.
Yeah,
So
from everyone, I guess.
I'm looking forward to seeing all of them yell at Alea. I'm looking forward to Kelsey and Champagne Gate all over again. Tammy and Sydney. The tea was hot and petty this season.
It was
I'm
very petty,
thrilled.
wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Delicious.
Yeah, I mean, you've been there. When this kind of episode comes up in the season, the anticipation for everyone going back, is it excitement or is it dread?
It's definitely dread because you're put into a confrontational situation. In the house, it's a little different because you're talking one-on-one, so it feels conversational, but it feels like an attack when it's 30 women and it's just you in the hot seat and everyone's asking you all the questions that you sometimes don't know the answers to.
Yeah. Does Chris Harrison ever come through with like hardball questions?
Oh, he for sure does.
Yeah.
But he tries to say it in the nicest way.
That's what I mean. He does
He's really
say it in the nicest
sarcastic.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. And he likes you if he pokes fun at you and says jokes.
He likes the tea too.
He does.
Yeah.
He likes it.
There are moments where you see him really teeing it up.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like,
For
ooh,
sure.
that was smooth.